Examiners who give and interpret the PDMS2 should have a thorough understanding of test statistics, general procedures governing test administration, scoring, and interpretation, specific information about gross and fine motor ability testing, and development in children who are not progressing typically. The testing environment may be a room, hallway, or even an outdoor space. All testing need not necessarily be in the same space or at the same time. Arrange the testing environment to minimize distractions. If possible, the room or space should be free from noise and people. However, if a child is reluctant to separate from his or her parent or caregiver, allow the parent or caregiver to remain during testing. Also, allow the parent or caregiver to hold the child if you think that this will increase the likelihood that the child will respond. The time required to administer the entire PDMS2 varies from approximately 45 to 60 minutes. The subtests comprising either the gross motor or the fine motor composites can be administered in 20 to 30 minutes. Administration time is kept to a minimum by the inclusion of basals and ceilings and by administering only selected groups of items to each child. Testing a child with disabilities usually require a longer period of time. The testing may be broken into shorter sessions if the child has a very short attention span or if other conditions make it more convenient to administer individual sections of the scales at different times. We recommend that each scale be completed within a 5-day period. Reflexes. The 8-item reflexes subtest measures aspects of a child's ability to automatically react to environmental events. Because reflexes typically become integrated by the time a child is 12 months old, this subtest is given only to children from birth through 11 months of age. Here is an example of a reflexes subtest. Get up! Stationary. The 30-item stationary subtest measures a child's ability to sustain control of his or her body within its center of gravity and retain equilibrium. Here is an example. Watch the toy! Put your hands on your hips and stand on one foot like I did. Hold your hands over your head and stand on your tiptoes like I did for as long as you can. Locomotion. The 89-item locomotion subtest measures a child's ability to move from one place to another. The actions measured include crawling, walking, running, hopping, and jumping forward. Here is an example. Come to me! Object manipulation. The 24-item object manipulation subtest measures a child's ability to manipulate balls. Examples of the actions measured include catching, throwing, and kicking. Because these skills are not apparent until a child has reached the age of 11 months, this subtest is given only to children ages 12 months and older. Here is an example. Kick the ball like I did. Grasping. The 26-item grasping subtest measures a child's ability to use his or her hands. It begins with the ability to hold an object with one hand and progresses to actions involving the controlled use of the fingers of both hands. Here is an example. Get the block! Visual motor integration. The 72-item visual motor integration subtest measures a child's ability to use his or her visual perceptual skills to perform complex eye-hand coordination tasks, such as reaching and grasping for an object, building with blocks, and copying designs. Here is an example. Watch me build a tower. You build a tower. The PDMS2 norms are based on scoring each item as 2, 1, or 0. The examiner must decide how to score the item based on his or her judgment of the child's performance and the specific criteria provided for each item. The general criteria for scoring items are as follows. 2. The child performs the item according to the criteria specified for mastery. 1. The child's performance shows a clear resemblance to the item mastery criteria but does not fully meet the criteria. 0. The child cannot or will not attempt the item, or the attempt does not show that the skill is emerging. If a child scores 2, 3 consecutive times, then we determine this as the basal level. And this keeps on going until the child scores 3 consecutive zeros, which is known as the ceiling.